Selected Firsts in Asian Pacific American History. Government. Representing California in 1956, Dalip Singh Sandh became the first Asian American U.S. representative. Science and Medicine. In 1957, Tsung Dao Lee and Cheng-Ning Yang became the first Asian Americans to win the Nobel Prize for Physics. They were awarded the prize for disproving a quantum physics law. Literature and Publishing. In 1974, both Ken Kashiwara and Connie Chung became the first Asian American network news reporters. In 1993, Chung also became the first Asian American news anchor, main reporter, for a major television station. Film. In 1921, Anna May Wong became the first widely recognized Asian American film star. In 1951, she also became the first Asian American to have her own television series, The Gallery of Madame Liu Tsong. Air and Space. In 1932, Catherine Sui Fun Chung became the first licensed Asian American aviator. As a co-member of the Woman-Only Aviation 99 Club, headed by Amelia Earhart, Chung participated in numerous aerial performances and races, eventually retiring from aviation after an accident destroyed her plane. Military. In 1944, Calvin Chin and Anthony Liu Wang became the first Chinese Americans to be commissioned as second lieutenants officers after graduating from the Medical Administrative Corps Officer Candidate School at Camp Barkley, Texas. Sports. In 1948, Richard Tom became the first Asian American to win an Olympic medal. He received the bronze medal for weightlifting. Asian Pacific American Heritage Month is celebrated in the United States in the month of May. Much like Black History Month and Women's History Month, Asian Pacific American Heritage Month originated with a congressional bill. 2 representatives introduced the bill to the House of Representatives, and 2 senators introduced the bill to the Senate. Both of them passed, and U.S. President Jimmy Carter officially recognized Asian Pacific Heritage Week on October 5, 1978. Several years later, in May 1990, President George H.W. Bush expanded it to a month and designated it as Asian Pacific Heritage Month. The month of May was chosen in honor of the arrival of the first Japanese immigrants to the United States on May 7, 1843, and also the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad on May 10, 1869. May is celebrated with community events that involve historical, educational, and cultural activities, and the recognition of famous Asian Americans in such fields as architecture, entertainment, athletics, education, art, and science. One historical period often discussed in school curricula in May is the building of the first railroad that spanned the American continent. This railroad, largely built by Chinese immigrants, is considered one of the crowning achievements of President Abraham Lincoln, even though it was completed 4 years after his death. To build the railroad, the Union Pacific Railroad began in Nebraska and worked westward through Colorado and Wyoming to Utah. At the same time, the Central Pacific Railroad began in California and moved eastward through Nevada to Utah, carving places for railroad tracks and high mountain peaks. The two railroad companies met in the town of Promontory, Utah, where they drove in the final golden spike that brought together the east and west coasts of the American continent. This feat revolutionized the economy and population of the United States. It caused the wagon trains to be obsolete and affected commerce, trade, and travel across the continent. Glossary. Congressional. Of an elected group of representatives. Bill. A proposed law in government. Designated. To officially choose for a particular reason or purpose. Transcontinental. Extending across a continent. Spanned. To cross the length between 2 points. Largely, mostly, almost completely. Crowning. Greatest. Drive. To provide the power to make something happen, to pound in. Spike. A narrow, thin shape with a point on one end, usually metal. Feat. An action that involves risk or difficulty. Wagon train. A group or line of vehicles with 4 wheels pulled by animals. Obsolete. Not in use anymore because something more modern has replaced it. Affected. To cause, to change.